screaming like, with all of the corruption. I get mixed up between the DA and his end of the agreement was giving up $10,000, although he's paid a lot more. Jussie Smollett is walking. He had already been let out pending appeal, which I had to go back and check my digital footprint on that. I said it's corruption when he got let out of jail, and it's narcissism as he's like leaving jail, screaming like, talking about the Holocaust, talking about Ukraine. His protest as he was given appeal, release pending appeal, I said was like the evidence of his deep-rooted narcissism. But I don't think I would have been offended at him being released pending his appeal for the very same reasons I was offended at Steve Bannon not being released pending his appeal. I appreciate, I think he should go to jail. I don't agree with this Illinois Supreme Court decision. It's not the Supreme Court of the United States, but Illinois. I don't agree with the decision, but I do agree with people being released pending their appeal when they have a bona fide appeal, especially when they will have served their time by the time the appeal comes down. So if I actually said he deserves to be in jail pending appeal, I would be shocked, and I don't think I said that. I am not shocked, but I'm not even surprised. I mean, it's par for the course. He was released, and the basis for his release is actually amazing. There was a Fox News article on it, and then there was the shorter one. Here, Jussie Smollett, conviction reversed by Illinois Supreme Court. Jussie Smollett faked a fake hate crime on himself, which he still insists to this day was perpetrated by white MAGA Republicans, even though it was perpetrated by two very black and not white and not MAGA men from Nigeria. And why is that relevant? That there were discussions that the men might have been gay, which is a crime punishable by death in Nigeria. So not only was Jussie Smollett not attacked by two white MAGA people at 2:00 in the morning in Chicago, they were Nigerian black men who apparently put makeup on to look white and staged this entire thing from beginning to end. They allegedly tied a rope around Jussie Smollett's neck, which he left on his neck when the cops came, and said he was going out at 2 a.m. to get a Subway sandwich. And then two MAGA men approached him and said, "This is MAGA country," and poured a liquid on his face and tied a noose around his neck. Yeah, the two, what were their names? I forget the names of the Osundairo brothers. The white MAGA supporters were Nigerian Osundairo brothers. Okay, bodybuilders also. Okay, I think it was Kim Foxx, the DA or the AG, whatever, no, district DA, struck an agreement with Jussie where they released him and dropped the charges in exchange for a $10,000 bond, and Jussie Smollett could proclaim his innocence. Special prosecutor was brought in who brought back the charges and said, no, corrupt dropping of the charges, we're bringing them back. And Jussie Smollett said, you can't do that, double jeopardy. Oh yeah, and he paid them too, sorry. He paid them too, thousands of dollars. He actually paid them. That evidence is out there. The bottom line is everybody knows Jussie's guilty. The bottom line, he's walking because he's going to get away with that agreement that he had with corrupt. Is it Kim Foxx? Let me just make sure about that. Kim Foxx, Jussie Smollett. I'm pretty sure it's Kim Foxx. Just get mixed up with all of the... yeah, it's Kim Foxx. With all of the corruption, I get mixed up between the DA in Missouri, the DA in New York, the DA in Illinois. I mean, it's like the corruption is just everywhere. So he's walking free now, but not because of double jeopardy. From what I understand, the Illinois court came down and said, yeah, double jeopardy doesn't attach because there was no jury impaneled. And so there was never jeopardy attached to the charges. But he's walking because of a principle, which from what I understand is basically like detrimental reliance. They had an agreement. And but for that agreement, Jussie Smollett would not have agreed to have given up his $10,000 bond. And now subsequent prosecutors must respect that agreement. You must respect my authority and my agreement. Okay, so that's what I understand as being the rationale behind this reversal. Jussie Smollett, conviction reversed by Illinois Supreme Court, unanimous from what I understand. Okay, it was reversed. The former Empire actor was convicted on charges that he staged a racist and homophobic attack against himself in Chicago 2019 and he lied to police. Okay, he initially appealed his disorderly conduct conviction to the state's highest court in September. Thursday's ruling from the Illinois Supreme Court read in part, today we resolve a question about the state's responsibility to honor agreements it makes with the defendant, not double jeopardy. Did he have basically a binding contract with the state such that he could rely on that binding contract to them not bringing charges against him? Specifically, we address whether a dismissal of a case by nolle prosequi, not prosecuting, allows the state to bring a second prosecution when the dismissal was entered as part of an agreement with the defendant and the defendant has performed part of his bargain. You remember what that was? We hold that the second prosecution under these circumstances is a due process violation. and we therefore reverse the defendant's conviction. Do you remember what his bargain was? He performed his end of the bargain. He forfeited a $10,000 bond, and he allegedly did community service, which, from my understanding, if I'm not remembering it badly, he had already performed. So his end of the agreement was giving up $10,000, although he's paid a lot more than that in defense fees, and community service that he already did. Okay, we saw that he was accused of staging the hoax. Kim Foxx dropped the charges against him. We got all this. Following that, special prosecutor investigated. He was put on trial, found guilty of five counts of disorderly conduct, sentenced to 150 days, 6 of which he served before he was freed pending appeal. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Oh, 30 months of probation in order to pay $130,000 in restitution for the costs of the city's investigation into his bullshit hoax. His attorney said he was the victim of double jeopardy. And then we got who's Karen Conti explained the crux of his argument when Kim Foxx cut the deal with him, whereby we would do community service and sacrifice his bond money. That was a deal and it should have been honored, Conti said. The special prosecutor brought charges again that violated double jeopardy clause. That's not what they ruled here in this case. And even if didn't technically violate due process and double jeopardy clause, it was unfair to cut a deal and then prosecute him again. 32-page decision, which you can go watch a full breakdown on uncivil law. He explained the court's decision to reverse the conviction. I'll do a summary of it in my car later on, but for right now, I'm just going to break it down. It wasn't a double jeopardy violation. It was a due process as a result of, what's the word? Not professional reliance, but detrimental reliance. We are aware that the case has generated significant public interest and many were dissatisfied with the resolution, yada, yada. Justice Elizabeth Rochefort wrote in the 5-0 decision, nevertheless, what would be more unjust than the resolution of any one criminal case would be a holding from this court that the state was not bound to honor agreements upon which people have detrimentally relied. Illinois Supreme Court Chief Justice Mary Jane Thies and Justice Joy Cunningham took no part in Thursday's decision. So that's it. I can understand it. I never put stock in the double jeopardy argument for the reasons, as far as I understood double jeopardy. Jeopardy never attached. Now we just got detrimental reliance. Had we not had that agreement, I would not have forfeited my $10,000 bond. Therefore, you must respect that agreement. 5-0, they must respect the agreement. It's not an unreasonable decision.